buy your flowers over here. Fresh flowers. Come get your flowers. Over here. Fresh flowers. Like some. Be sure it's really good today. Some really fresh ladies and it's really fresh. Would you like some fresh shake? Okay. So you can do these ones for $5. We've got these ones special $20. Flowers, come get your flowers. Come and get your flowers over here. How much do they cost? 18. Well, I can't do over this, but I can write you a note so that you pay it next time. So, okay, I'll just buy
Three of those ones, please.
It's good to see you eating so much fish, Joe. That's very good for you.
I hate fish.
Right. Next, please.
And Joe, not to put too fine a point on it, had an attitude problem.
What?
An attitude problem.
I do not have an attitude problem.
Hey, we're just following the script. Says it right here. Attitude problem.
Well, that's a great way to start, isn't it? How's an audience going to identify the main character when you introduce him as having an attitude problem?
Who says you're the main character? Yeah, that rather proves the point, don't you think?
Why is it called Joe of Arabia then?
Well, might be a different Joe. Yeah, you're not even from Arabia.
Okay. Have it your way. A different Joe. We'll see.
I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Look at it this way. It's a step up from doing advertising this. Voiceovers for personal hygiene products. You had to bring that up, didn't you? Just trying to be helpful. Joe lived with his parents and his brothers and sisters in a busy market town north of Jerusalem. Not Arabia then. No! Every day, Joe walked to the market and bought food for the day's meals. He worked on his studies, helped his father on the small plot of land where the family grew vegetables to eat and flowers to sell, and spent many hours trying not to fall off his lipstick.
Very funny.
Hi, Joe. Did you get the fish?
Yeah, Mum, I got the fish. Why is it fish again? I hate fish.
I know, but it's really good for you, Joe. Take it to the kitchen.
And so life went on for Joe and his family, in the way that life does for most people. Routine, uneventful, predictable, but happy. Oh yes, quite happy. Just, every day. Where's this going? Keep reading. However, things were about to change radically. This is better for Joe. Far away from Joe's little market town, The king of Nineveh had made the city the most powerful in that part of the world.
But he was a cruel man. His secret police were everywhere. His enemies were brutally murdered.
And it was into this violent and unpredictable city
Where life was cheap and crime was everywhere.
that our hero,
Joe,
Just a minute!
what now?
I'm a hero now, am I?
You could be. You know I can't tell you the ending.
I heard you say hero.
can we get on with this?
If you think I'm going to Nineveh, then you better think again.
Look, we just read the lines, right? You just act the part, right? There's no argument. There's no choices here.
What should I do when I get there?
Tell him to turn the music down for a start.
They'll kill me.
We can't tell you the ending.
Oh, great.
Attitude problem.
That's nothing. Have you seen page 15?
Our hero arrived in Nineveh one sullen Tuesday morning.
He wandered the dangerous back streets of the city for many hours.
While suspicious eyes watched him from every corner.
Tired and hungry after his many days journeying over the mountainous roads to Nineveh, he looked for a place where he could have a room to rest and chat.
But at that time of the morning, everywhere was closed and the windows were shuttered.
A hot, dry wind blew down. What?
Where is he?
Who?
Joe. Where's Joe?
Wandering the dangerous back streets of Nineveh.
I don't think so.
I don't believe this.
I told you we should have rehearsed it.
You can't have gone far. You look back there and I'll look over here.
Okay.
Over there. That spot by those rocks.
Oh, that's a firewood.
My feet are killing me. I think I'm getting too old for this. Come on, Celine. You might be saying that we're doing something hard tonight that doesn't hold profits. I know, Bob, but you're young. When you get to my age, the journeys just seem to get longer every year. Are there any of those dates left? No, we ate the last ones in the Barami Oasis. No more till we get to Joppa, I'm afraid. What is that? Tins of beans. Not beans again. Is that all? Sorry. Are they just ones still in it, isn't it? No, Bob. You're thinking about the Western thing we did last year. You don't get that kind of thing in Arabia. The big pot of beans around the campfire routine is a bit of a cliche now anyway. Yeah, and we need to get some sleep tonight, if you get my drift.
So just bread then.
Bread sounds fine.
Thanks. Do you mind if I warm up by your fire?
Help yourself. Bob, move over that. We'll find out for dinner. Ordered dinner? You young people be working. Back in my day. Oh, come on, Celine. We all know that in my day we could make a bag of dates last 3 weeks and still have leftover stories. It's true. Anyway, what's your name, traveller?
I'm Joe.
Good to meet you, Joe. I'm Sadie. Elaine.
Nice to meet you all. Thanks for the food.
One of the camels was looking today. We better have a look before we go on. We're probably at the mountain brook water.
I know all about camels.
So do we.
Right. Okay. So, where are you traveling to?
Joppa. Do you know it?
Joppa. Ah, that's where I'm going to. Joppa.
We go up to Joppa every year around this time selling lamps and carpets. Are you interested in the carpet? Or a lamp? What's that to do with the stars?
No. I'm just sort of travelling around at the moment.
Why are you going to Joppa?
Someone mentioned it to me. It sounded like a nice place to go.
Nineveh. Now there's a place to go. If you want to get mugged. There are some quite nice parts of Nineveh.
Definitely not. I'm definitely not going to Nineveh.
I've been to Nineveh once, about 10 years ago. Loud music, that's all I remember.
Definitely not. No, sir.
They're famous for it, loud music. I traded loots in that part of the world for a while. Nineveh's like the Wild West compared to most of the other towns up there.
And Joppa is in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah, roughly. Why do you want to go there?
It's not by the sea.
Well, I'm turning in.
Me too.
Good night.
Joppa. I like the sound of that. Joppa. Sounds a whole lot better than Nineveh anyway.
There he is! Shh, don't wake him up. Can we get a fix on him? I'm working on it. Hold on. Yes, here it is. He's walked into a story about Arabian traders selling lamps and carpets. They're part of a 5th century legend where a tornado picks them up and carries them to a far off place.
Really? I thought that was more recent.
Oh, the same stories just get recycled through history.
I suppose. Anyway, did they end up anywhere near Nineveh?
Let's see. Yeah, well, nearer than he is at the moment.
Great, let's do it. Then we can get him back to his own store.
Joe slept soundly after his long, lonely walk on the desert roads.
He was grateful to have fallen in with the Arabian traders and agreed to help look after their camels in exchange for travelling with them down to Joppa.
As they slept under the stars, the winds that gather at that time of year began to stir far off in the freezing desert.
I guess I'll go and have a look at that limping camel while the others are still sleeping.
Where's that Joe character gone? His pants are still here. He can't have gone far.
I think there's more time than he's letting on.
Really? What makes you say that?
I have a feeling from a run from something. He smells like fish.
Oh, Ellie, you're so suspicious. He's just a young lad on his travels. Joppa is just the sort of place for him. He'll have a whale of a time. Maybe he's going to go look at that camel.
I'll go see. Send me some breakfast.
Leave when he's up to dry out. For winter.
I know. It's a bit odd. I'll get breakfast going. Thanks, okay?
I'll give you a hand.
Thanks.
What's that noise? It sounds like a strong wind.
Won't make the obvious remark. Look! That's not just wind!
time. He can capture Joe as a slave and sell him at the gates of the city.
Perfect!
Come on, we need to get there before then.
So he cut off its leg and propped it up with a piece of wood, and the stupid thing didn't notice for 2 days. And by that time, whoa! What happened here?
What a mess!
Ali? Helene? Bob?
It looks like they've left in a hurry, but they've left all their things.
Come on, let's go look for them. Celine! Marlene! Ellie! Over here! What happened? Some sort of sandstorm, but nothing like I've ever seen before. I've got something in my eye. Could be sand. Let's have a look. There's a cave just over here. Come on! I felt like I was going around and around. And at one point, I was sure I saw a sort of wooden house in there with us. Was there a little girl looking out? That's the one. You saw it too? And the music. Did you hear the music? Music? Yeah. Saw it somewhere.
Oh, you must have upped your head, Sadie.
I look over here. It's also some kind.
Oh, I can't find him. Are you sure he didn't get picked up by the tornado?
Well, I didn't actually see him. But how could it have missed him?
I don't believe this.
He must be here somewhere.
Is this playing havoc with the space-time continuum?
You and your space-time continuum. Honestly, sometimes I think you should get out more.
You need to take this job a bit more seriously.
It's just a few altered storylines. What's the worst that could happen?
You'll get that written on your tombstone. Now come on, we've got to find Joe before he causes any more damage.
This is the main waterfront area. If there's work going anywhere, it'll be here.
Thanks, Tarek.
I have to leave you now and go looking for the others. I can't believe they just leave me like that. Something terrible must have happened to them.
I hope not, Tarek.
Bye.
Bye.
How do you get a water spout in the desert? I have no idea. I suppose it would be the sand spout. Anyway, it will look like this. Stand over here, whatever it is.
I heard someone came to Joppa this morning for a rain to happen.
That's not good, especially with that in opposition with the rain spout. And this morning my bathwater went plump by some plug hole. But this morning, my food tight.
Don't think I've had enough baths to notice a pattern.
Which way does the clock go again? Doesn't it go round and round? That's like a sensation. All these strange things, I'm like singing the chords and I'm going to touch it.
You'll be alright, though. As long as you brush your hair or something.
I suppose. Come on, Cat, come on. I'm going to see about this voyage to Tarshish. Listen, I'll come too. And me! I think we're catching colds. It's not a good sign.
Tarshish.
At least you know that.
That's where I could go. It's even further from Nineveh. Do you think the captain will take me on as a crew member?
Have you crewed on a boat before?
Well, no. Not really.
So we need some experience. Can you drop me at it?
No.
Busting a hatch?
No.
Scrub a deck?
No.
Shiver a timber?
Don't think so.
What about splicing your mainsail and twisting the middle? Have you ever shuffled a double deck and played 4 triples aces high?
Not consciously.
It's not a good one. Still, smell a fish. That's a start.
No. Well, I can take a stone out of a camel suit.
Cooking?
Oh, yeah, I am hungry.
No, I mean, can you cook?
Oh, yes, I can cook. Fish mostly. Except that I hate fish.
Better you eating the fish than the fish eating you.
Don't even want to think about that.
Don't story about that happening, right?
Look, thanks for the help and everything. I'm going to see if I can sign on for that voyage to Tarshish.
Please, you do something about that gold you've got. Take your money.
Thanks. Best in my area, sir. I come from a long line of cooks.
Yes, but we're keeping the line. We want to get to the chocolate chip. So you cook fish.
Ah, yes, Captain. Fish is my specialty.
Can you do that thing with the fish and the cheese and the crispy stuff?
As you made a nice walk along
becomes crispy when you've only got heat coming from underneath.
Can't you just put some sick cleaner sprinkle on top? I've tried that, but it just go up when you try to serve it. They need to absorb some of the moisture from the surface.
I thought it was the cheese and the fruit comes up down all together.
The flavour would be a bit strong if you use cheese in the sauce as well. There's no reason why you couldn't just use white wine sauce.
But cheese is supposed to taste.
Excuse me, may I interrupt? Yes, you.
Aladdin's uncle explained that he needed a good cook to accompany him to Arabia, where he would be handsomely rewarded for his time and work from the great treasure the man possessed there.
Joe agreed at once, and they decided to set off on their journey at first light in the mornings. Joe agreed at once, and they decided to set off on their journey at first light in the mornings.
It's not working.
Attitude problem doesn't come near to describing this.
Thanks anyway, but I'm heading to Tarshish on that boat. Sorry about that.
So I've been thinking about that, young man.
And?
To toast the breadcrumbs, use a flat iron that you keep on the stove.
That would work.
That's what we do with the Caribbean because we say that.
Oh, I see.
So the job's yours, sign here.
I simply don't believe it.
We could look at this the other way around.
How? Bring Nineveh to Joe.
No. How about someone else going to Nineveh?
You still don't get this, do you? Only Joe can go to Nineveh, because that's where the story says Joe is.
Except that he isn't.
Yes, I realise that. But that's where he's meant to be.
Why can't someone else go? It's not a big job.
Because everybody has to be something. If Joe isn't in his own story, Nineveh, then he's somewhere else, messing up other storylines. Already, we've got an Arabian trader wandering through the desert on his own. He was supposed to have been carried off by a tornado. And the Nineveh job overdue by 2 days. Now he's about to get on a boat to Tarshish. Unless he crosses another storyline between here and there. We're faced with trying to get him back to Nineveh from the end of the earth.
I'll start going through the sea stories.
Watch out for them, half of them aren't true.
Okay.
Ban those actions, wait a minute!
If you would like to take your seats in the seating area, please.
Captain! The main scratch has broken to working loose! Spin the flames so to compensate! Yes, sir! Freddie, lift the wheel pin that's striking decks! Yes, Captain! Swap those decks! Shiver those timbers! Sir, we're ready to let go of the grip of support rods. Let them away, Jimmy, and look to the floss buckets. Floss buckets of course, sir. Good work, Ollie. Splicing the mainsail now, sir! Splice away, Billy, and Sammy adjust the grommets for maximum flotation. Yes, sir! Alfie, how'd that pot of coffee coming along? Just coming to boil now, sir. In that case, full steam ahead. Men, back to 9. I love it when we talk technical.
Oh, we're underway.
It's going to be a long time before we walk on land again, Joe. Yeah, it's a 2-month voyage. Anyway.
That's fine. I'm happy to be at sea. Anything that takes me further away from Nineveh is fine by me.
Nineveh, is that where you come from?
No, but it was where I was meant to be going. But I came to Joppa instead.
Wait, you were supposed to be in Nineveh, but you came to Joppa. That's some detour. What happened?
It's a long story.
We've got a long time.
You can tell us the whole story over my pot of coffee.
Maybe later. I've got souffle in the oven.
I've got a bad feeling about them.
I've got it.
Go on.
I found it in the Chronicles of the Persian Kings. A man is swallowed by a whale, survives, and then is spat out on a farther shore 3 days later.
If it's the Persian Chronicles, it's the wrong sea. This is the Mediterranean.
Ah, but yes, the story was brought by Persian Empire traders to Sardis. Later the Greeks had a version. Look on the map. It crosses the ship's route just there in the middle of next week.
There's one other problem.
What?
You don't keep whales in the Mediterranean.
Ah, but I've got one of these.
What is it?
It's an artistic license.
Good. Right then. Set it up.
We'll need a storm.
That's okay. The ship's story has one of those. We can always pull in a Shakespearean tempest to make it worse.
Let's do it.
Bend the hatches, roll the tops out! She's ready for that. I don't know how much more she can take.
Freddie, lash those ropes.
Free, let's those ropes! Over the main deck! It's not making any difference! Brace yourself, look at that wave!
This is a perfect storm.
Thank you. There's a bit of Odyssey, some tempest, and a load of Persian seamen all mixed together.
Ready?
Ready?
Joe woke from his deep sleep to find the boat being thrown this way and that on the stormy sea.
He went up to the deck where the sailors were working to keep the boat upright.
What's going on?
We've never seen a storm like it. It's an omen! An omen!
What's an omen?
All things happen for a reason! This storm is here because someone deserves it!
Don't storms just happen?
Nothing just happens, Joel! You should go below decks and let us get on with this.
As the storm raged, the crewmen began to fear for their lives and to wonder why the storm had been sent to them.
No, doesn't mean hot air rises, it means cold air, and because hot air holds more water.
That's rubbish. We hit your racing surface that brings waves bouncing off the sky like cool bats looking like rain.
It's caused by the full moon. The wind's having a competition. It's a sea serpent.
After a lot of pointless and totally inaccurate speculation, they finally decided that it was all Joe's fault.
It's all Joe's fault.
Just a minute.
What?
It's you again.
What do you mean again?
Why does it have to be my fault?
One word, Joe. Nineveh.
I'm not going to Nineveh.
At which point, they picked him up and threw him over the side.
Ah!
And you might think that was the end of the story.
I don't think they think that.
But it wasn't.
They knew that.
Oh no, it was just a different story, which starts after the interval. You may now have your 15-minute interval.
I don't believe this. I thought you didn't get whales in the Mediterranean. And that smell. I really hate fish. I thought I hated fish before, but now I really hate them. Ah, this is awful. Let me out of here. Let me out.
Good evening, good sir. We bid you welcome and ask only that we may entertain you for a moment or two and a small consideration from your ample purse.
Where did you come from?
Came from over there, good sir. But the point is, now that we are here, we may entertain you. All we ask is
How
this
long have
one
you been here?
consideration. We have been here for as long as it is necessary, good sir, and we will remain here for as long as it takes.
No, wait. Don't go.
Ah, he wishes to stay, and so we have a contract. No need to shake in a good sir, we trust you. Now, what is your preference? We do tragedy, comedy, tragic comedy, bawdy, romantic?
Who are you?
King's merrymen. Oh, come on, good sir. The king's merrymen we are to some, wandering players to others, spinners and weavers of stories to yet others. Take your pick, and I'll take the card. We have a...
I must be dead. I've been swallowed by a fish, and now I'm dead.
Ah, it is punishment. It is tragedy you're after. One moment, please. Tragedy is our specialty, sir.
Didn't think it would be like this.
Do tragic? It can be changed. Anything can be changed.
This is awful. Eternity inside a fish? I'm being punished.
We can do that too, for our consideration.
Look, how did you get here? How long have you been here?
Ah, the deep questions of our time, sir. You're a philosopher, good sir. And to complement philosophy, we have thinking man's drama.
Do you know how to get out of here?
Ah, that is the first thing I look for, good sir. And I can tell you this, there are always two ways out of anywhere. In this particular case, there's returning whence you came, thus. Or the option of just to be passing through, thus.
I understand.
You're a lucky man to have such a good mind. We, alas, are just plodding players, making a living from those we can entertain for a small consideration.
What? Oh. I see.
What's going on?
Sorry, bit of a mix-up. What are they doing inside the wheel? That's what I'm entertaining. But it looks a bit. What do you expect when you mix up storylines like this? We had to coincide 4 storylines just to get that storm.
It's a bit over the top. They'll probably make one of those History Channel ancient apocalypse programs about in the far distant future.
Well, anyway, these guys are not doing any harm. They just dropped down to the court scene in 12th Night. They're just wandering Elizabethan players.
Of course they are. And they're producing a whole book of unlikely stories that this lad can tell his grandchildren.
What happens next?
I can't tell you the ending.
What?
Watch and learn from the expert. Day 2, inside the big whale, and Joe is getting restless. Can he cope with any more comedy? Our experts agree that it is getting to him.
I can't stand this. Nothing to eat but fish. Nothing to do but sit around watching Elizabethan drama and being slowly digested.
Joe is not making himself popular with the other whale mates, and this might go against him when it comes to the voting.
Day 3 in the big whale, and Joe is up for evacuation.
Suspense? We do excellent suspense. Consideration?
Look, this is the last time. I need to get out of here, and I don't have any more money.
But where will you go? What will you do, Joe?
One word, Marlowe. Nineveh.
Nineveh? What's that?
It's my story.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe has now left the whale.
If you'd like to take seats in this other area.
In the
too. But believe me, it was.
What were you doing inside a whale?
If I told you, you wouldn't believe me.
I read a story about someone being swallowed by a whale once. I think it was a Persian, I think it was.
So that's where they got it from.
Who?
Oh, no one. It's a long story, and I've got an appointment to keep.
You've just been spewed out of the whale, and now you have an appointment?
Another long story. In fact, it's probably the same long story. I am going to Nineveh!
Nineveh, of course. Why are you going to Nineveh?
Come on, I'll tell you on the way.
What is the plain English of the world?
For many days and many nights, Joe traveled with the Arabian traders towards the city of Nineveh.
Even when they were still several days away, they could hear the thud of the music echoing across the desert.
That's not in the script.
Can't you hear it? No. Thud, 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 thump, 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 day and night, and day and night.
You're becoming irrational.
It's been a difficult time, sorry.
As they neared the city, the traders said their goodbyes to Joe and headed south for their own country. And Joe continued on along to the great city of Nineveh and his appointment with destiny.
That was a bit pompous, wasn't it?
Sorry, couldn't resist it.
Someone is here to see the king.
Is the king sleeping?
Isaac's not going there, neither do I.
But I don't want my head chopped off.
But you're the oldest. You're the grandest.
So you should go in.
No, you should.
No, you should go in.
You should. Stop. You should go in because you've got the strongest neck.
Oh, right. Your Majesty. Excuse me, Your Majesty.
Who is it? How many pieces do you want to be chopped into?
No, please, Your Majesty, it's me, Obadiah, your faithful servant.
Well, don't do it again.
Your Majesty.
What is it now?
Sir, there's someone here to see you.
What's the time?
It's midday, Your Majesty.
Chop his head off.
The servant stopped as she was leaving the road.
And spoke to the king again.
Your Majesty.
Have you done it?
What, Your Majesty?
Chopped his head off.
No, I want
You would like to see your visitor first.
if you would like to see your visitor first. Before we chop his head off. Before we chop his head
What for?
You might be something simple.
off. Might be something simple, like reading the meter.
That's good.
All the more reason to chop his head off.
I'll see to it at once, Your Majesty.
Oh, that's not good. No. Wait a minute.
No, wait a minute. All right. I'll see him first. In the throne room.
Very good, Your Majesty.
Why did I say that?
Joe bowed low before the king of Nineveh.
So who are you?
I'm Joe, Your Majesty. You can call me Joe.
What do you want?
It's a long story.
I don't want to hear it. Guards!
No, wait a minute. I didn't come to tell you the story. The story just got me here. I came to make a request. Apparently,
What request?
it's quite a small request.
Well, what is it?
It's not really a quick request. It's more
Sort of what?
sort of
A sort of favour.
favour. A sort of favour.
Just tell me what you want.
It's the music.
Music?
The music. The loud music.
What loud music?
That music.
What about it?
We wondered if you could turn it down.
What?
The music's a bit loud. We wondered if you could turn it down.
The music is a bit loud? Is that it? You got me out of bed for this?
I knew this would be a bad idea.
No floods or droughts? No locusts in the rain harvest? You don't want me to buy an old theatre?
No, don't think so. Just the music.
Let me tell you something, Joe. May I call you Joe?
Sure.
This is a lonely job, Joe. People come to me for anything and everything. How much tax? Who feeds the baby? Whose land is it? What about the thieves and the beggars and the state of the tracks through the desert? The stars are in the wrong place on Thursday. You know what, Joe?
No. What?
I don't know the answers. There aren't any answers to most of these problems.
That's the problem.
So I just make something up. Whatever I say goes. I have the power of life and death contained in the flick of my hand.
You're gonna have me killed. I knew this would happen.
Joe, you've shown me that all that power and authority can be overruled by simplicity and humility.
Right. Have I?
You have, Joe. Guards, turn the music down.
Right.
Joe, I've learned something from you. And I'd like to thank you.
Right. Have you?
You have, Joe. Let me.
Can I go home now?
Of course. Go home to your people and know that Nineveh will always be an open city to you. Fill your bags with gold and precious gems from the palace treasury on your way out.
Thanks. Bye.
Goodbye, Joe. I'll never forget what you've done here today.
And so Joe returned along the road from Nineveh to the farm where his family.
Just a minute.
What?
What was that all about?
All what?
I've learned something from you today, Joe. Let me tell you something, Joe. I'll never forget what you've done, Joe. What was that all about?
It's the end of the story.
I went through the entrails of a fish just for that?
It was a whale.
That wasn't even part of the story. You put that bit in.
What happened to walking the violent streets of Nineveh? The prospect of almost certain death in Nineveh.
So we exaggerated. Poetic license.
I'm not even Arabian.
You could have been. If you just followed the storyline, everything would have worked out. But no, you had to run off and try to be a hero.
You wouldn't have had much of a story if I hadn't, would you? Joe goes to Nineveh. Ask them to turn the music down. They do it. Your audience will be in and out in 5 minutes.
He has got a point.
No, he hasn't.
you would have been stuck trying to entertain your audience for an hour on your own.
I can do that.
Prove it.
I understand.
That wasn't you. It was me. I didn't follow your script.
You're always following a script, Joe. You've just been reading a different one. That's all.
Has he? Where's my copy?
Shut up! I'm getting away with this.
I'm not following a script now.
How do you know? Face it, Joe. You're always following the script.
I'm going home.
Is it true? Was there a better ending?
Of course. Here's just a few of them. Ah. Remind me to tell you about Schrodinger's cat sometime, okay? In the meantime, let's get this one wrapped up. Let's see.
Joe's sword, glittered crimson, as the blood and entrails of the king.
Wait a minute. Try this one. Listen here.
And so, Joe returned to his family's farm and lived out his days in happy obscurity, enjoying the wealth of the king of Nineveh and telling his grandchildren stories of the impossible things that might have happened to him when he was young. Putting a show together like this is not without its mishaps. We'd like to share a few of them with you.
And this morning my bathroom was clockwise down the blacktop. My toes are getting a bit tight. Your toes? My clothes are getting
What time is it? It's midday, Your Majesty. Chop his head off. Right.
The secret stop!
It is too late.
Tornado.
It sounds like a strong wind. I won't make the obvious remark.
But that's not just wind.
What happened? Just did the tornado scene.
Joe.
No, it's his cat.
Turn the music down.
You wouldn't have had much of a story if I hadn't, would you? Joe goes to Nineveh. Ask them to turn the music down. Then likes it. Ask them to turn it back up again.